So, good evening and welcome, everybody. We are having a live discussion here today on the Union Budget 2021. The Times School of Media, our students would like to discuss what Nirmala Sitharaman presented in her budget this morning in Parliament. I'm Vidya Deshpande and I teach television journalism at Bennett University. Along with me are my students, four of them: Shobit Gupta, Prakshali Tiwari, Srijita Ganguly, and Apurva Kashyap. They're all second year students, and let's go ahead and discuss the budget. So, Shobit, tell me what was the most interesting thing that you found in the budget today?
Ma'am, being from a middle class family, for me, budget means what would be the income tax related things in the budget. The new, the thing was there was no new income tax introduced in the budget. So that was a very big relief to the middle class thing. Another big factor was that senior citizens were given a big relief of not filing ITRs. On the other hand, FDI, they have increased the percentage of FDI to 74% in national insurance. In my home, there was discussion. My family members termed Nirmala Sitharaman as Graha Lakshmi of India.
Oh my, that is huge praise coming for the a government that has been hit by a pandemic, and we can see that the economy has been on the downtrend. Let's get in some of the others. Let me ask Prakshali this question. Prakshali, what was something that your family members looked forward to in the budget? What was the general discussion at the dining table?
Ma'am, same as what Shobit said, the discussion was mainly based upon income tax as no changes have been introduced. Moreover, a new thing that came to the table this year was the budget seemed on Pradhan Mantri's Atmanirbhar Yojana. So that was a new thing on the table this time. And whatever policies have been introduced, being it prices being cheaper or prices being costlier of a few things, I think, and my family thinks that everything is supporting the Atmanirbhar Yojana.
But how about you, Apurva? Prices of petrol and diesel have gone up. They've added a cess of, because of the pandemic, and it's up by 2 rupees for petrol and 4 rupees for diesel. So, do you think that people would be unhappy with this, the Janta?
Yeah, that was a discussion point in my family also. See, the general public, the budget is made for general public, and if the general public itself is not happy, this budget didn't provide something into the pockets of the general public. If you see, it was included into agri cess, and the farmers also are the ones who get who spend the petrol and diesel, who they are also consumers. So this would hurt their pockets as well, and we know the situation of farmers in the country as of now. So
Yeah.
I think this will affect the economy.
Okay, let's bring in Srijita into this discussion. For you, um, Srijita, are you there? Srijita Ganguly?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi. So, what was there in the budget that you think would, young people would like?
Ma'am, as Piers has said that the budget friendly have hurt the pieces of many people. So it's budget friendly to a lot of people because a lot of new things have been introduced in the budget 2021, and main highlights were which I personally also felt was needed in this budget 2021 was the one strengthening of 15,000 scholars for the effective implementation of the NEP 2020 to mentor and work as a model. This was one, and also to establish 100 new scenic schools, which is really, really needed, and it was one of the highlights of the budget 2021. 750 Ekalavya residential schools in the tribal areas, because education in tribal areas are considered to be really less. So I think with the introduction of more schools, I think education will be at its peak for the people who cannot study or cannot afford education to a bigger level. So, ma'am,
I
I
think you've
think
picked up a very good point because schools in tribal areas would give them more access to education, and that could
exactly.
be, it could be a boost. And also, I think there was some announcement about a new central university in Ladakh.
Yes, ma'am.
So, yeah. So,
Ma'am, the
Apurva, what
central
is it that you, yeah. No, Srijata, go ahead. Tell me what you think
Yes,
about
so
that.
ma'am, so basically, the Central University of Ladakh in the next half, like the main highlight of it was that, like,
Yeah, I don't think Ladakh has a central university as yet.
yes, yes, ma'am. So,
And
like, it was, but I would like to know what Apurva has to say on this, because I was not very sure about this point, because there is no Central University of Ladakh as of I heard till now.
yeah, so basically the thing is that, yes, Apurva, you have some opinion on this. You think
Well,
it? Mhm.
after after the situations that happened in Ladakh in the past year, it was
Yeah,
converted into a union territory. Uh, this decision of opening a central university in Ladakh will surely benefit the youth over there. It's a remote area in India, and opening a central university means access to education, easy access to education for the youth over there.
excellent.
And
I
also
think you've got a
access to
very good
modern
point. Yeah.
technology, also access to a lot of modern technology which will help students learn and a step ahead to education, which they lack majorly in the area.
Okay, let me bring Prakshali into this also now, and let's talk about, the one of the sectors that were really hit by the pandemic was the travel sector. So I think both Apurva and Prakshali, you can tell me something about, they seem to have given some emphasis to that because of the opening up of the aviation sector and, of course, railways giving them a bigger budget.
So, ma'am, the travel sector was definitely very badly hit in the pandemic, as flights and the transportation, everything was shut. So, the railway, the budget this year has definitely given a boost to all of these things.
Yeah, I think one of the things they have done is that they've given A, the railways a higher budget, and B, we are trying to get more technology into into the railway system, to have these, especially for tourists, they want to introduce those, high dome kind of coaches that you see in countries in Europe, etc. So, uh, tourists who come here can also enjoy that kind of 360-degree view of our country.
Also, there have been an introduction of a system which will help locate trains so that there is no collision between the trains due to human error. So
Yeah,
that is, I think, will enhance the safety in railways.
good. I think that's a good point because we've had a lot of man-made accidents. Even in the recent past year, there've been, I mean, before the pandemic, there've been two or three railway crashes that happened, and this could be a big thing to stop something like that happening. Um, let's bring Shobit also into the mix now, and let's ask Shobit what were the other things that he thought, caught his eye. What about, we're spending more on defense. Do you think that's something important?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, spending on Defense Minister Rajnath Singh thanked Prime Minister and Nirmala Sitharaman, our Finance Minister, for because in the past 15 years they have increased the defense budget. We have seen in the headlines that India is striking deals with US, Russia, and bringing various fighter jets in the country. So that would be really helpful for India. And ma'am, talking about the travel industry thing, there are several metro projects in southern India which has been developed. And on the other hand, what I found that this union budget was basically about health and infrastructure.
That's right.
Needless to
Health has been one of the biggest factors that we've had this year because, as we've seen for the last almost a year since March 24th last year, we've all been under a lockdown for something which health is the most important thing in the pandemic. And over the years, we know that our health sector has been very poor. But
yeah.
during the pandemic itself, I think the government did a lot to set up new infrastructure for that, and I think we've been pretty you know what would I say, that we've been pretty acting pretty fast on that, because infrastructure plus vaccine, etc. I think our vaccine program so far has been pretty good. What do you people have to say about that?
So there has been a 137% increase in the healthcare expenditure. That's
Yeah,
a very big step that the
I
government
think
has
it's the
taken.
biggest spend so far on health
Yes.
infrastructure.
Ma'am,
I mean,
35,000 crores is are being spent only on vaccination of COVID-19, and two more vaccines are under development in India. So we have all. So by June 2021, we could have four COVID vaccines in India only. So that is a very great achievement for India.
Oh, that I think is good news for all of you also, because once the vaccine comes in, I think you can come back to university, and
Yes,
the
absolutely.
hostels, etc., will be more operational.
Yes.
Because right now all of you have been at home. Uh, but has the government done anything for digital India? Because as students, you're all dependent so much on the internet and mobile phones, etc. I didn't see anything in the budget on that front. In fact, I think the prices of some mobile phones may only go up because they've increased the cess on some chargers and some other components. So I
Yeah,
didn't
ma'am.
see any
About
push there.
Yes, ma'am. On digitalization, only one thing I found that the companies they would be given an extra tax leverage of till 10 crores if they are doing most of their business on online payment, on online and digitalization thing. So they would
Yeah,
be
that's
given
true. And
an
I think there's something for startups also. They've also got another tax holiday for one more year.
another tax holiday for till March 2022. They have got
Yeah.
tax holiday.
So that I think is a good thing for any of you young people who want to set up an entrepreneurship. I think one of the things Bennett encourages is entrepreneurship through the Bennett Hatchery.
It has to.
So I think there's
Yes.
some good news for people there. Um,
Also, ma'am, the increase in the mobile phone and the chargers is
mhm.
basically to stop after the stop of all the imports and all the companies that were foreign companies that were here in India, and the government is trying to establish all the Indian companies. So a little higher prices being charged for the mobiles and charger will help the Indian sector of these digital and mobile phones to set up better.
Yeah, so I think that goes in line with what you were referring to as, Atmanirbhar Bharat. So I
Exactly,
think that
exactly,
the push is towards that. And
exactly.
do you think do you people think, Apurva, what do you think? Have they kept up with that promise of the government?
sorry, I didn't
I
repeat
said,
it.
has the government kept up with its promises?
I think the budget as of now, the government has made the promises of various sectors, including airlines, railways, education, MSMEs, and every other sector. But the only promise that government has not been able to fulfill is meeting the demands of the middle class people. The
Yeah.
budget though has provided incentive to the sectors, but there is no money in the pocket of the middle class man.
I think I tend to agree with you on that. Let's hear from Srijata what she thinks.
Ma'am, I also think that the budget, the upcoming budget was really was very expecting that it will be made and set standards according to what the middle class people want. But when the budget came out, I also think that it didn't meet the demands of what middle class people actually want from it. So even I think that in that particular sector it lacked a little bit, but other sectors they have been keeping up quite strong. Be it health and sanitation, be it education, be it a little bit of digital India also, because according to one article what I read, the census data now
Yeah,
everything
it's going to be digital.
will be collected through a mobile app, and this is for the very first time that a mobile app will be used for this census exercise. So I
I
think
think that would be something really fantastic to look if they are able to achieve
Yeah.
it,
yes,
considering that
Absolutely.
our population is the second highest in the world.
highest one.
And that also means that we need to, the census, the first time, census is done once in 10 years. So this is going to be a huge
Huge
exercise.
development in this census thing, and the pen and
Hmm.
paper that is going completely digital is a complete new thing for all of us for the very first time. So I think that it could have done a little to meet the standards of what actually the middle class people want. So that's my opinion.
Okay, fine.
Not only
Okay,
the
so before
census
we, yeah,
digital, but the budget has also been the first time the budget was digital, and a union budget app
Yeah.
was launched on which budget
that's right.
document was made accessible to the
Absolutely,
people.
that's right. It was accessible on the budget app. So before we wind up, let me see what each of you have to say to the budget. If you would you give it a thumbs up, or would you give it a thumbs down, or would you say that it's. So let's see. Let's just do a quick poll and see what the four of you think of the budget. So you can just hold your thumbs up, or you can put your thumbs down, or you can say that you know. Okay, so that seems to be good news for Nirmala Sitharaman then, if all young people still think that the budget is doing well. So thank you so much for joining me. I
Thank
know
you.
it's been a long day for you, and we'll hopefully be back in campus soon and have more such discussions. Thank you for watching us, and hope you look forward to more such discussions on BUTV.